This is Free Country USA, brought to you by Kitty Kimz and MC Kimz.
Welcome, Patriots.
Welcome, Patriots. How are our levels looking?
Looking good. Looking
Okay.
just fine.
Cool.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
How about this room, you guys?
Dude, I love it, dude. Like, this is a great, like, people rent out, like, I know a bunch of people that work at studios where they just rent out, like, a room to do this. I think that's, like, a lot of people are doing that. And, this is obviously better than that.
Hell yeah.
I mean, I guess not obviously, because I bet in those studios you could get like you could get like a plant, or you could get like a neon sign. We should get a neon sign. Like, that's when you know, dude.
Bro, we'll get the
That's
sick,
when
we'll
you-
get the sick $1,000 no loafing neon sign at some
Oh,
point.
dude, that would be so clean. Like, yeah, or like one with like the
Embroidered
name of the
flag.
pod.
Yeah.
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 Or yeah, an embroidered like a cool ass flag.
Yeah.
We could get, yeah, dude. What else?
I love that, like, anyone who's never seen my room before, who's maybe watching this, just thinks I'm talking about what they can see here and not the rest of
Yeah,
the
there's like
sick
some
ass room.
snowboards. I didn't know you snowboarded.
Yeah, I love snowboarding.
Yeah. Remember the first time that you rode?
Snowboarding or skiing?
with me and skiing?
That shit was ridiculous.
what do you mean?
Bro, I get to you're staying with a roommate because we're working on the mountain already, and your roommate gave me the fattest dab I've ever had in my life.
Hell yeah.
And then you took me. I didn't realize we'd have to take a ski lift to the ski resort itself. So I think we took a bus, right?
Or
We took a bus
either
after the
hitched it or
dab.
took a bus. No, we took a bus. I don't think you hitched it.
I don't think we hitched
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
And that was the steepest
Dude,
fucking ski lift. Dude,
when
I was
I-
dabbed out of my
dude,
mind, and I was horrified.
When
it
I
was
first
so
took that
steep.
ski lift, because that's where I worked, right? Like, was like up the ski lift was like where my job was, right? And when I saw a ski lift, I actually didn't even know what a ski lift was.
What?
Like, I'd never been skiing. I'd never been interested.
You went to go
in skiing.
work on a fucking ski mountain. Not knowing. How do you not know what a ski lift is? That's such a popular thing
Dude,
that
I
you
know.
see in like media. What do you mean?
It's kind of
Like,
like,
what-
the thing that the industry relies on the most.
Yeah.
It's like getting
Well, I've never been
people's
to
asses
one. I've
up
never
the
been
mountain.
skiing. I'd never seen the ski resort. Well, I just needed a job, and they were hiring people. And
Do you think that people just walked up there?
I just didn't think
Yeah.
about it.
What did you
I
imagine?
didn't think about it. Yeah, I didn't. I didn't even consider it. I didn't even consider it. I was like, you rode up there, like the car. You would just drive up
drive
to
to the top.
and then ski. And I didn't even think about how you would
Ski
get up
down.
and down. And then the ski lift there is the biggest one, like on the whole, like it's one of the. I guess it's one of the biggest ones in California or something. Like, it's fat. It goes up really steep. I was mad scared.
Yeah, and then we get our ski gear, and you take me to the first lift, and I've never been in skis before, and you didn't have them slow the
Yeah, I was like,
fucking
nah, I don't want to be pussy, dude.
thing
Like,
down.
don't tell him to slow it down. That's fucking
I
lame.
couldn't get on the chair,
And
and
then
I
you
start
fell, and then it
falling
was so
forward
much
into
worse.
this slushy, icy mud puddle, and then you tried to grab me and
I
pulled
felt-
you into
yeah,
the
yeah.
slush puddle
Dude, the
too.
worst part about that was, like, I should have definitely just told him to slow down, and like they told me that they were like, dude, why didn't you just have him slow it down? Because
Jeff's mic close enough.
oh yeah, I'd probably pull it up a little
No,
bit.
he's good.
Yeah,
Oh,
and you
okay,
can just
sorry.
like, yeah,
If
you
If
just-
something's wrong, I'll tell you.
Yeah.
I'm watching the meters like a hawk.
yeah, I got you. And where was I? Oh yeah, so it was so embarrassing because it was such a small town that I heard about it, dude, for weeks. People would be like, dude, I heard you and your sister ate shit on the fucking ski lift.
Just getting
idiot.
bullied
like,
for
why,
that
yeah,
for
been
weeks?
bullied by like the townspeople for weeks. Like, why didn't you just have them slow it down, dude? Like, it's not as like check your ego at the table, bro. That was like the vibe of it. Like, it was seen as really not cool.
That's so funny. Oh my god. That's so trippy, dude. That town was so small.
It's like,
the
600 people.
The contrast from like growing up here with like 500,000 people or
Yeah,
whatever
yeah.
to
It's like 250,000 people.
how many people
And
lived,
Santa Clarita, third biggest city in LA County.
right. How many people live in June Lake?
During like the winter time, like people come and live there for the summer, but during the winter time, it's like when I was there, I don't know if it's grown or shrank, but when I was there, it was like 600 people.
Population of Santa Clarita is 224,000 as of 2023.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
No, yeah, I was just...
And it's growing still
I would like
a
go
lot.
for walks there, and strangers would just pull over to the side to like see if I needed a ride.
Yeah, dude,
And
I
I'm
would
just
hitch-
like, no,
I would-
I'm on a walk, and then they would look at me like I was weird because there was probably way nicer places to walk that I just didn't know
Yeah.
about.
No, it's like if you're walking down like a main road, like a quarter of the time, like 25% of the time, somebody would pick you up and ask if you needed a ride. I hitchhike everywhere there. It's just part of the culture.
I loved that everyone had their own little nicknames there, like Chainsaw
Dude, Chainsaw
and
was
Whiskey.
tight.
What were some of the other nicknames?
Mountain Fish, dude.
Hell
Shout
yeah.
out to Mountain Fish. He was my neighbor, and from what I heard, he was like a trust fund baby who just loved his life as the most alcoholic fisherman of all time. He was barely like, you could barely understand what he was saying or what he was talking about 99% of the time. And he was my neighbor, right? And I would like, I'm don't want to put him on blast, like, but like, here I am. We're like, I hope that if he sees this, like, I love you. But I would walk by his house and it'd be like, it was just Jim Beam, like the handles, and it was like 1,000 of them.
Sorry, what?
Like
Was
the handles of whiskey, like, you know, like when a bottle's so big it has a handle.
How
on it.
many?
Like 1,000.
Oh yeah, I think
Like,
I peeped in his window one time.
It was like
They were just-
all the shelf space like was literally just glass, or I don't know if they're glass or plastic or what. I don't drink Jim Beam, but it was like as many could fit like in the building. Like, and he would go out in the morning and all he did was drink whiskey and fish, and he would like, if he caught a particularly big fish, he would just like, the bigger fish that he caught, the more drunk he would get that day. And if he caught like
Hell
a
yeah.
big one, he would just like be wandering around town like, yeah, I got a big one, yeah, I got a big fish. And then one day, dude, this image is like burned into my brain. I see he's like, the apartment building we lived in just like overlooks like the main street in the town. And he caught like the fattest trout, dude. It was so big. And he was just like dangling it from his window. Like, it was like a busy day in town, so there was like a lot of people outside. He was just like limping out the window down Main Street for like hours, dude. Like hours, just shouting at everybody and just waving the fish around. Yeah, I had two neighbors, dude. Two people lived in the building. Mountain Fish and Chainsaw, and then just Jeff, dude, in the middle.
Oh, you never earned a nickname?
No, I wasn't there long. I think you gotta be there for a minute to get a nickname for sure.
Damn.
It's like not everybody had a nickname, you know.
Right. What were some other nicknames?
Those are off the rip, dude. Those are the only two that I remember.
Mm.
Yeah, but yeah, it was cool living there, and then you would help me like make sandwiches and stuff. That was tight.
That was sick, dude. I was like 15 making sandwiches in exchange for sandwiches and
Yeah.
also beer.
Yeah,
That was a vibe.
that was cool, dude. Yeah, that place closed down.
What?
R.I.P. Alpine Pizza.
R.I.P. dude.
Yeah.
That place was such a vibe.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, it was awesome. It was good pizza too.
What was the podcast we used to listen to when prepping in the morning?
Oh, I don't remember, dude. It was a long. So what was I bumping back? I was probably listening to like Democracy
It was
Now.
something. It was like in 2016, so it was a lot of Trump.
Yeah, if it was
News.
politics, dude, I was probably bumping Majority Report or Democracy Now during that time.
That sounds
in the
familiar.
mornings. Yeah. It was Sam Cedar. Shout out Majority Report, probably my favorite podcast. Or it's like more of like a news morning radio show, but
Hell
love
yeah.
Majority Report. Yeah. Cool. Well, we were originally going to record this podcast. I didn't tell you this, or I think I told you a little bit. We were going to record this, what we do Saturday, and then Connor and I got.
Oh yeah, Connor, you were throwing up blood. Are you good?
Yeah, no, I'm fine.
I've been asking this entire time.
Yeah, so
Morning of our
We had
podcast,
a-
not a bad omen.
we had a picture of Cadillac margaritas on Friday. Proceeded to follow that up with some beers. And I also ate a half chicken rotisserie dinner. with like beans and rice and a salad. And I smoked maybe like 15 cigarettes. So,
Woof.
you know, I was going to barf. And I barfed before bed. Nothing crazy there. When I woke up, I threw up some bile. Not great. And then right after that, I threw up like a handful of blood. Went to the doctor, obviously, as you do when you throw up some blood. And yeah, he was like, yeah, you probably just tore something on that initial throw up, so maybe just stick to beers next time.
Dude, he told you that? He told you to stick
he was
to
like,
beers?
keep it to the beers.
Yeah,
Maybe no more. So that was my last ride in the Cadillac, I think. At least for the foreseeable future.
Yeah, dude.
And
then honestly, like that same night, like I was so wrecked in the morning, like I didn't even set an alarm for the recording.
Yeah.
And so I like woke up that morning. I was like, oh my god, the podcast. Like I told myself I wasn't gonna do this.
Everything was fine, and he wasn't super worried about me. But I feel like if I hadn't gone, I probably would have just like flatlined and died while
Yeah,
like getting your levels or something. Yeah, I would have died in this gamer chair.
Bro, if you died in my gamer chair, oh, that would have killed the vibe of the room so bad.
Yeah.
But then you could like taxidermy me in the game chair.
You can't taxidermy a person. Wait, can
Yeah,
you?
you can.
I get.
Can you just legally put tax?
Yeah, like
Yeah.
I mean, like, I
What?
probably wouldn't put you in the game chair because I like game there, but like,
Can you for sure? Is that for sure? You can just like keep a corpse, like if it's a loved one, like in your house.
Maybe
Jamie, we-
this is
pull
why
that
we
up.
have Guy in the chair. He's looking it up right now.
I'm looking it up.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Just FBI.
Maybe
you know, but we have,
I'm
like-
thinking of like a Jackass skit where they tried to do that, like as a joke. Like, my grandma's about to die. Can we taxidermy her?
You know what? I've got a lot of empty space like up there though, and so I could probably hoist you up in like a creepy pose, like you're like
Ew, dude.
haunting us.
Human taxidermy is illegal in most countries.
You're just like, yeah, you're just
While
like,
it
no,
is
you can for sure do
theoretically
it.
possible, it is generally considered unethical and disrespectful and is not a common practice. But
I
like, if it's
wonder-
your dying
Okay,
wish,
it's illegal
then,
in
like,
most countries.
Oh.
It's illegal in free country USA.
Yeah, where could we move that we could do this
coming right up.
theoretically? Like, and I wonder how uncanny it would be too. Like, would it look like
Oh,
those wax figures?
I'm like
or, like,
really
would it be
actually
worse?
I'm like really actually thinking about it now, like how gnarly it would be to actually see that.
Imagine that was just completely legal, and you go over to
It's
people's
like, that's
houses.
normal.
They have like half their family's heads
it's
like mounted
when you
like
think
deer on the
about
wall.
it, when you think about it, it's like that's what like every horror movie serial killer does, and it's considered one of like the most
seems
creepy
like
and
you can
bizarre
do it
things you could
In
possibly do.
France and Australia.
Okay, but not here.
But like, it's
I was not
it's
expecting.
It's not easy. And the person who's dying has to do a lot of the paperwork.
I'd imagine.
yeah, I'd imagine. Yeah.
France and Australia would not have been at the top of my guest list.
I was like trying to think of like, okay, which countries do it, and it's like I couldn't think of.
You know, I would have figured it'd just be places that like.
They just hadn't thought to put in the books.
Yeah. They got like other shit to worry about.
Yeah.
France is surprising.
I don't know. I think it actually might be illegal everywhere. I think everybody's on board that we don't do that anymore.
Yeah.
But apparently,
was there a time?
people did it for a long time.
I don't want to like see real ones, but I'm so curious how how good
let's
they
not pull that up.
look. Yeah, no, that sounds
Let's
not like a
pull
good
that up.
idea.
Yeah, I don't want to see that.
And we can't really show the audience either.
The
So.
primary reason is that
Please don't
humans
look-
do not have fur, scales, or feathers to hide the unsightly defects usually associated with
Oh, of
taxidermy.
course, the unsightly
so it looks
defects.
super creepy.
So not only is it like unethical, but it would just look bad.
That's the real reason it's banned
Yeah,
for
it's like, I
aesthetic
wonder if it-
purposes.
yeah,
It
if-
just looks like shit.
If it looked fire, like, do you think like more people would do it?
Probably.
Yeah.
Maybe here we'll get a statue of you. How about that?
All right.
Chat, we're pulling up. We're doing a poll right now. If we got a voting chat and poll, if taxidermy on a person looked fire, would you do it? Type F for yes and B. All right.
Would you do it like would you want it done to you, or would you do it to someone else? Is that your question?
I guess either or. I don't. What do I want when I die? I figure I don't want to be cremated. I don't want to burn. I don't want to be dust. I want my body to be preserved.
I definitely want to get put in one of those pods that turn you
Turns
into a tree or some shit.
Yeah, or like shot off into space. Wait,
I don't
am I
know.
making that up? They
I'm
shoot
sure
dead
people do
people
that.
in
I mean, if John
space?
Frusciante could put his album in orbit, I'm sure you could get your carcass shot into space. Wait,
Yeah,
do you want your carcass like your whole as a whole? Like you wouldn't even want to get
I don't
cremated
really
for
want
that?
it into space.
I would either want to turn into a tree, probably turn into a tree, ideally, or some kind of plant.
The tree thing is kind of beautiful.
Or cremated. Like I'd be down to be cremated if I got to like get like tossed off a cliff like Big Lebowski style.
Yeah, but they just blew back in Steve Buscemi's mouth.
Like not on a windy day, ideally.
Yeah. Yeah, just tell them not to do it on a windy day.
Yeah.
You can launch a symbolic portion of cremated remains into near space Earth orbit to the
I
lunar
guess
surface.
why?
Or even
Like, what's the
beyond.
point? Like, what do you like? What message are you sending?
I don't know. Why did John Frusciante put his album in space?
Exactly.
Because he's cool.
It'd be pretty cool to get shot.
Yeah. What
into
is?
space.
What was it doing in space? Could you pick it up as like?
I'm
a
pretty sure
satellite, bro?
once it was like over you could like download it somehow.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. God, I love.
Oh,
him.
so he
Shout
did
outs
it
to
like
John
a.
Frusciante. That's why I started guitar.
Yeah. Yeah. He's a really big inspiration to me too, and I really like him. Shouts out John Frusciante.
I thought this was a cup. I was gonna like take a swig for John.
Yeah, dude, I like want to get the sip of my beer, so I'm gonna like strategize how I'm gonna do that. Are
Why
we
didn't you
recording?
just put your beer next to you?
What?
Why didn't you put your beer next to you?
Kat said she didn't trust me with it on the couch.
Yeah,
Yeah,
if you really
fair.
need your beer on the couch, we can get a Jeff mat.
What's a Jeff mat?
Just something to lay over the couch, over where you're sitting specifically, so that if you spill, it doesn't get on the
Yeah,
couch.
maybe
Kind of like a hospital gown.
Yeah, if we can get like maybe like when we get situated into the full, like when we get into the
Yeah.
meat and potatoes of this whole thing.
Yeah, no
Yeah,
offense,
so-
but I've seen you spill quite a bit of things. And to be fair, I've been a bit of a klutz in my time. I've gotten better. I don't think you have though.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't keep. Yeah.
I'm just trying to be. I'm just trying
Dude,
to
I'm
be.
like kind of like right now. I'm kind of like, damn, you know, like, all right, that's cool.
No, I cannot tell what you're trying to convey with that reaction at all.
Oh, it's just like I'm just like,
I'm sorry.
like
have I
no,
offended
no.
you?
It's like petty. Like I'm going through. It's like that's hurting my feelings a little
Oh,
bit.
okay.
But I'm like, why? Like I do spill stuff all the time. So
So I won't drink on this couch. I'm
Yeah.
pretty sure I wouldn't spill.
yeah,
But
yeah. I'll probably just go like chug some really quick in this minute.
Go
But
for
first, yeah.
I can
let me
hold
just,
your
yeah,
mic.
just for a sec. Yeah. Just keep the juices flowing. You know?
yeah, I'm realizing the questions I wanted to ask are on my phone, and I don't know how to do that. I'm recording with my phone.
Well, I'm sure maybe we could hit a pause, or
Yeah, we'll
like I
probably
could
have to
ask.
hit a pause. I'll write them down.
I
on,
think
like,
maybe next time you
notepad.
should maybe send them to me or write them down.
Yeah.
I have the questions from the
Yeah.
email whenever you're ready, but
Yeah.
no rush on that.
Should we?
I'm down to switch to the cues.
Yeah, we could like just pause it for a sec. I think because we'll have to get the questions.
Well, we could do those
we do
cues.
that
We could do
right
the
now.
email cues first,
Yeah,
and then my cues.
yeah.
Yeah, maybe
After.
we do your questions in a separate one, because I don't know how to stop this recording, and I don't know how to stop the video recording of me and save it. Or do they just automatically save?
It'll automatically save.
Oh, okay, word. Then I
Yeah.
guess there's really no issue. Yeah, so which one do you want to do first? You want to
Let's do emails first, and then figure
Okay.
out the pause.
Okay.
Well, it's like okay. I do want to take before we get into the meat and potatoes. This whole thing. I think we should like take a minute to talk about like what this is.
This is Free Country USA, brought to you by Kitty Kimz and MC Kimz.
Welcome, Patriots.
Welcome, Patriots.
Yeah. Salute to the flag every time. Yeah, so pretty much like we wanted to start this because I was getting bullied a lot in school because of Katz's OnlyFans. And
How does that even make sense? Cat's younger than you.
Well, you can still like be a student, like any age, dude. There's no like.
Sorry, you're getting
timeline.
bullied.
But you
at
haven't been a
school?
student in like 12 years. Kat was not doing OnlyFans 12 years ago. Sorry, start over.
Yeah, we'll rewind.
The timeline's not adding up on that.
What school?
How old were you 12 years ago, Kat?
How old am I now? I'm 26.
So 14?
Yeah, but I
Yeah.
mean, I'm, you know, like a student of the world.
Dude, what are you talking about?
Like they're like bullying me at school. Like, dude, I can't get a girlfriend at school, and like everybody's like being like mad mean to me, dude. They're like, they're like,
You're getting bullied
Yeah.
at school because I do OnlyFans.
Yeah, Jeff is the persecuted one here. The real
But also
victim.
kind of like low blow to be like, you don't go to school and haven't for a really long time.
Okay, yeah, you're almost 30. You haven't been in school for a long. It's not a low blow. It's
Yeah.
just like
Yeah,
it's
what
just
was
facts.
what was the last thing you went to school for? Wasn't it to study some?
Yeah, fuck that, dude. But
No. You went to
No,
school
he's a
for some
scholar of the
weird ass
world.
reason. Last time, what was it? You were trying to find out about.
dude,
Some-
they're gonna kill me. Like, I swear to God.
What are you talking about?
About like, okay, so I'm excited. They're not gonna kill me, bro. But like, I was just really like pissed about the city planning project they're doing here, like the expansion. Like the reason why they're building all those horrible buildings next to your house that look awful. They had where there was like a nice field with like foxes and stuff or coyotes.
Yeah.
That's just a small piece of the puzzle, dude.
Yeah,
and then I got
a huge
show-
open field right next to our apartment, and I used to say hi to the coyote and the black cat once a morning. And
Yeah.
now
Well,
they're
there's
gone.
the biggest city planning project in the world is happening like right here. And I got really mad because I was like doing this job interview and it went for a really long time and I didn't get the job and I was like, oh, I'm going to go back to school and learn journalism because I was just pissed off for like a year. I just got really mad for 1 year and then learned a bunch about this city project that they're building, but
And so while
And the
you
city
were,
planners were roasting you because Kat
Yeah.
does OnlyFans.
the college.
Yeah, let's put
Yeah, this was like what? How? When? I was
let's
like,
put 100 houses here, and yeah, I'm jerking off to your sister.
is that what you're telling us?
I mean, yeah, that's really just the beginning. But yeah, so
Shit, bro, I'm sorry. I didn't realize my career was affecting you like that.
yeah, so I kind of wanted to just set this up so we could, so I can like start crying and be like, please stop.
You want to do the podcast so that I don't have to slut myself out anymore, so you don't get embarrassed when you're doing your journalistic studies in college. I get that.
Yeah, I mean that was like 7 years ago.
Do you think that if Kat stops doing porn, that Santa Clarita will cease to develop?
They're doing urban sprawl.
Yeah, urban sprawl like as payback.
Okay.
Now that's a thought.
Yeah, something to think about for
Chew
sure.
on that.
I never thought
listeners
about
and
how my
viewers.
career
Yeah.
could be the cause of me not having my coyote and cat friends anymore.
Yeah, and there's just a lot of systems at play with this type of stuff, you know?
This is fucked up, but like normalize sex work for real. Like, come on, this isn't my fault.
Nah. All right. Anyways, yeah. So I guess we're gonna field some questions and maybe try to get to the bottom of this whole thing.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
You know-
fans sent me questions
Cool.
and they want advice from me.
Yeah,
Welcome,
so
Patriots.
to piggyback off of that,
Yeah, thank you.
Alexander here.
Oh.
Weird question,
that
probably,
name.
but any advice for a trans girl trying to get into the adult entertainment industry?
I'll take this one.
Thank you so much.
Fuck off. Probably don't do it, honestly. No offense, but like my answer used to be to be to
Okay, yeah. So like, say,
to do.
yeah.
I'm talking.
Yeah, I'm
don't talk. Don't speak over me.
Okay,
Let me
yeah.
speak.
Yeah, I
Let
got
trans
Trans
voices
woman
be
is
heard.
talking,
Yeah,
Jeff.
yeah. I got you.
No, I just like it's super hard to like make a good amount of money doing, and like then it makes obviously it harder to get other careers. So it's like if it doesn't work out, you're pretty much putting like all of your eggs in a basket. I did it as like a last resort thing because I couldn't find a job or get hired anywhere, and I needed money. It's like I would give advice to people who it's a last resort for, I guess, and to do it, you just like kind of have to be a content creator, like influencer. Like there's no way to advertise your OnlyFans effectively unless you're like making safe for work content and doing well with that. And if you're not established on the internet at all, it's really hard to do. And then you know are getting perceived by a lot of people all the time, and if you like try like smoking weed or something, you kind of just like sit there scared, like, oh my god, I get naked in front of millions of people. Just some things to think about. What were you gonna say?
Yeah, I was like, I wasn't trying to interrupt or give my own advice. I was trying to say like going off of what you were saying is like I wouldn't normally recommend it, but like if I did, like what would be the advice that you would give?
Yeah.
But then you went there without, you didn't need my help to arrive to that.
Yeah, you just gotta grind the platforms, you know? You gotta be posting to Instagram, Twitter, probably Reddit. Reddit doesn't work for me anymore after bottom surgery, which is like kind of a bitch, you know? But like, they really like girl cock over there. And now I'm like too trans for the cis people and too cis for the trans people. Oh yeah, that's another thing. If you're trans and you want to do sex work and you plan on getting bottom surgery, that makes it a lot harder to make money because people really like girl dick.
That's where the money is.
And yeah, then most people kind of just see you as like less good than cis woman rather than girl with dick. But custom coochie is where it's at. People are gonna wake up to custom coochie real soon.
Yeah, I feel like you're getting it on the ground floor.
Yeah, absolutely. No, yeah, I'm making waves in the
Like,
custom
you know,
coochie
Bitcoin
community.
used to be less than $1.
Yeah. No, people are going to realize, you know, it's like I don't get my period. You know, a lot of girls won't hit if they're on their period because it's like they're on their period, but like, you know, you don't have to deal with that with custom cookie. No pregnancy scares. It's pretty lit. I kind of derailed.
No, that's okay.
No, I don't think you derailed at all. I think you kept it really focused.
I think you kept it real.
Yeah.
To piggyback off of maybe don't do it, you know, the trades are having a huge...
join a union.
Yeah, maybe be an electrician or something.
Yeah. I know some people do it because they're, like, disabled or whatever.
Yeah.
And they can't, like, fit pipe, but they can fit pipe. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, last resort it for sure. Like,
Yeah.
you know, it like and if you do it, you just gotta be posting safe for work content a lot and like yeah. Anyways. That's
All right.
probably all I gotta say.
Why are the trades surging?
Because people of our generation were told to go to college. So there's like a big, like, no one was entering the trades for like 10 years.
So
And
it's
now
like,
a bunch of people are retiring. And so there's like a 10-year gap of people who didn't go in. Now, like, Gen Z is starting to like get wise to college and go into the trades a little bit more. So, yeah, I don't know. If you don't got soft hands, maybe, you know, elevators need work too, you know, like...
Yeah, probably if you can get a trade of some kind, maybe be a bartender. You think you can do that? Or like a content creator that like
doesn't
do porn in case
You know,
it doesn't work out. Maybe see how big of a following you can get not doing porn before you go into the porn.
Yeah, and
That's
then you
wise.
can kind of like, if you're like the money's not there, you can like kind of pull the trigger on the porn and then probably make even more money.
Yeah.
I kind of take back what I said about the trades because those guys don't love trans people.
Right.
Stereotypically.
Right.
Yeah.
I do, and I
Yeah.
work in a trade, but...
Yeah, I mean, most trans people, like, there's a lot of trans sex workers, and that's just because it's, like, pretty hard to get a job as a trans person in general.
Yeah, I didn't really think about that. That's probably pretty like a major reason why you'd want to do
crazy.
it. Like
Some real eye-opening stuff here.
See, this is what the podcast is all about,
dude,
though.
we're listening and we're learning. Dude. All right, let's continue to listen and learn. We got another one?
Yeah, we got a couple.
Wonderful.
We got more. So May asks, why are you so transgender?
I may.
That's a great question. I'll take this one.
Yeah, you take that one.
I'm just playing. Oh, yeah, because you did too much Adderall.
Yeah. I did a lot of drugs in high school.
It turned you gay.
That turned me gay and trans. A lot of drugs. Pretty much like whatever I could get my hands on. Kitty Kimz was doing it.
Yeah, hell yeah. I guess that's like not a real answer, but I feel like that's also not a real question.
No, it's not a real question.
Yeah.
It's just one of the ones that was in here, so I figured I'd throw it out there.
Kind of rude, maybe. May?
Nah.
No, you think it's fair?
No, I know May.
Oh,
I'm like pretty sure I know which May this is.
Well, we can bleep this out if you want, but it's May Rose. Maybe I'll timestamp the bleep
that's
out.
her last name. I can't remember.
Is she chill?
She's pretty chill. Yeah, I kick it with her. We're tight.
Yeah. Do you have any like why are you so it's like what levels of transgender are there?
I chose to be trans.
Okay, well that's good that nobody made you do it. A crazy thing to force somebody to do.
Yeah, no one forced me to cut my dick off.
Yeah.
No one forced me. I chose that.
It wasn't like a Disney movie or anything.
What?
Oh yeah, maybe you were subconsciously kind of forced to by
I've heard
subliminal
that.
messages in Finding Nemo.
Yeah, I've heard that.
Yeah,
From
yeah,
the
no,
guys that
that,
I
yeah,
work with.
no, yeah.
Oh, this is one that I love. I like when trans people talk about their egg cracking moment.
Yeah.
What's
Okay.
that?
Oh, you haven't heard this? This is
No.
like the best term, dude. It's so funny.
Yeah. No, when you're an egg, you're a trans person who hasn't come out or transitioned yet, or even fully realizes themselves that they're trans. So you're an egg, and then when you make that discovery or transition, then your egg cracks.
And then people will talk about like the moments that cracked their egg, and it'll be like
Yeah.
an episode of Ed, Ed and Eddie where like Eddie
Or-
dresses up as a girl.
Maybe a-
Yeah,
bet-
for me, it was that episode of Jimmy Neutron where he switches bodies with Cindy.
And that's kind of a common one, isn't it? Like I've heard other people say that.
I haven't heard anyone.
Oh, you
say
haven't heard that one? I mean,
No.
it's like there's
You
that-
talk to trans people?
in your Discord when I'm trying to game.
Oh.
So I'm like forced to listen to it. And then like all of your community is like, hey, I'm talking, like why isn't Jeff responding? It's like I've muted like 70% of them.
Why?
Because it's like, okay, well, I'm not trying to silence trans voices.
You're just trying to silence trans gamers.
Yeah. It's that your Discord, your popping Discord, follow it, Kitty Kim, the litter box.
Your Discord is called the Litter Box.
Yeah.
Funny, right? Funny.
That's pretty
But
good.
did you originally call it that? Like, well, I know we had the channel when it was just you, Austin, and Tom, and we were just using it to game.
Yeah.
And it's still the channel that we all meet into game, but now there's like 7,000 people in it.
Yeah.
And I'll just be like in a gaming channel, like trying to rip like a game of like Left 4 Dead or Overwatch with Tom, and then
Yeah, I like okay, I
and then
get it.
and
Like
then a
okay,
person,
so
then a person will come in and be like, when I was 7, I saw an episode of Jimmy Neutron and it made me gay and
a
trans.
lot of Discord people, to
And
be
and
fair,
it's cool.
they'll
and
come
I
in
like
and they'll
hearing
just
it.
come in and to start talking about their own shit, and it's like it happens, but like sometimes you're trying to focus in games, so you got to mute those people.
Yeah, and then I forget to unmute them, but it's all love to everyone in the litter box. I will unmute you. You just might have to ask me. I might have been dialed in, and you were trying to talk to me about something, and instead of maybe I could be more of an adult here in this situation and be like, hey, super nice to see you, and it is nice to see all of them, but I'm like trying to beat like the plantation level on Left 4 Dead 2 in expert mode. So
That's a good one.
Wait, what was the question?
why are you so trans?
Oh, that was all right. Maybe next question.
Yeah, I think
Okay.
yeah.
This one's from Maya. Hi, spelled H-A-I. I'm a 21-year-old trans woman, and I feel like I'm just finding my footing in this life. I've also been trying to do NSFW content as well and can't seem to commit. I'm very ADHD, short burst of energy type of person, and I feel like that's not helping, especially when it comes to OnlyFans. I guess what I want to ask is how to not feel anxious in this world and just be myself, and how can I get better at NSFW content when I just don't have the energy often to do much.
When you're
I think
really
I'll let you take this one.
Thanks, dog. I appreciate it. Yeah, I might be slightly better geared to answer this one. When you're really feeling it, when you're like, really, shoot your content in like 4 different outfits in the same day, and then try to spread it out, and then like if you're not going to be feeling it like another time, try to schedule content so that you don't really have to think about it. Answer done. Killed that.
Yeah, that's like a really good advice.
What about how to not feel anxious in this world and just be themselves? That seems like kind of a...
I'm wondering if she means
question.
the NSFW world or just like the world in general as a trans person.
It seems like, let's kind of
I think in general, because she was saying, I feel like I'm just finding my footing in this life.
Well, that's like that goes like deep into just being like at peace. Like,
but also like you're 21, like you don't fucking
Yeah,
know. Like you're such a dumbass.
You'll figure it out. I believe in you, Maya. Is it Maya?
Yeah.
Maya, I believe in you.
Maya,
I believe in you too, Maya.
It's all. I'd say like I found like what made like I used to have really bad social anxiety, and the thing that's helped me the most is figuring out how to be comfortable with myself and be comfortable when I'm alone, and like liking myself and trying my absolute hardest to not care if people think negatively of me in like instances that I don't think they should be thinking negatively towards me. Like
what have you think you've done to like help you with that the most? It's like letting that go.
Like I try to catch myself when I'm like feeling like people are judging me, and I try to just steer my brain somewhere else. Like it's like really hard to do, I guess, especially at first, but it's really easy to like focus on like what you think people might be thinking about you, and you just have to shut that off and like stop caring.
It's like it's in your own head too. Like you don't
like try to catch yourself when you're doing it and shut it off like as fast as you can, and try to distract yourself from what you think people are thinking about you, because like especially because like if you think people are thinking negatively of you, you're kind of thinking negatively of them if you have no reason to think that. So you're just projecting a little bit there. Don't do the snap.
Wow, that's cool.
And there's probably just a good chance people are thinking positively of you. Yeah, I just try to think everyone's thinking positively of me unless I have like a real reason to not think that, and just don't overthink it, and don't try to think it so hard that you like figure out what people are thinking of you.
Yeah. Some good advice I got once was that usually people are so wrapped up in like their own perception of themselves that they don't even have like the capacity to really perceive other people like at a high level. Because they're just they're having the same feelings that you're feeling, like, oh, what are people thinking about me? So they're not even like, that dude's got a goofy ass shirt on,
right,
or whatever.
Yeah, try judging other people instead.
Yeah,
I do that a little bit also.
Yeah, dude, I can get a little judgy.
Don't like don't always like keep it negative. Don't like
just be a huge hater.
Don't even. I mean, like no, like more like.
I think like the haters are like they're the ones that have the most.
Dude, they make you famous too.
That's on facts.
No, I just mean like like look at other people and like if they, I don't know, just like judge them, not in like a negative way, but just like perceive other people and don't think about how they're perceiving you.
Yeah, just like put it onto other people.
Yeah, that's one way, I think.
Yeah, just judge others harsher than you can judge yourself.
Yeah, judge other people instead. Don't worry about them judging you. Like half joking, I guess. I think I killed that question.
Yeah, all right, yeah, that was a slam dunk.
Yeah.
All right, so Maxine says, hi.
Hi.
Also, detour. I'm noticing a trend of HAI Is that pretty big in the community?
HAI. Oh yeah, hi. It's like a cute way to say hi. Damn,
And then I'm
we are
also
just not in
noticing-
the same corners of the internet.
I'm noticing
Yeah.
as well that instead of like the smiley where it's like the colon and the parentheses, it's the colon and a 3. So it's like the like.
Yeah,
Yeah.
this has been going on for some time.
Well, I'm here to learn. So
We're all
You're valid.
silence my
No, you're-
curiosity.
This is now I'm learning too because I just figured everyone knew that one.
Well, anyways, Maxine.
It's like an animal face, you know? It's like an animal
It's like a
smile.
Right.
cat.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that makes sense. It does kind of look like a cat.
Yeah.
Okay, well, Maxine wants to ask you how you deal with the fear and helplessness feelings that come up when looking at the news. Like on social media, I'm always seeing all these horrible laws and policies being put in place to exterminate trans people. And I live in a very blue state, but it still makes me feel very sad and scared. I also wanted to ask you if you have any diet exercise tips for HRT. I've been on E for 9 months, Prog for 1 month, and I've had a T blocker implant for 5 months. Thank you so much. You are a literal icon,
Aw,
Maxine.
that's nice.
They have testosterone blocker implants now. Didn't know that. I'm learning here.
Wow.
When I see scary shit in the news, I try to remember that like people try to make stuff sound as scary as possible. Not that like scary stuff isn't happening against trans people, but like they have incentive to try to make things sound as scary as possible. And especially when I see headlines that are like, they are going like being trans is now illegal. Like that type of headline where it's like they're, you know, really bad anti-trans laws are proposed, but they're not like even close to being in effect yet, but people are acting like they're in effect. I try to remember that, and like shit's like, you know, not great right now. Obviously there's a lot of anti-trans legislature being pushed and a lot of people being taken off of their hormones, and it's very bad and scary. But I think historically minorities who are getting like more rights in general, it's not a straight line towards like acceptance. It comes in waves. It goes up and down. We're definitely at a downslope right now, but I think it'll swing the other way at some point. Not that we shouldn't do anything about it, but I think we'll be fine in the end. I'm trying not to be too optimistic either, like, because like blind optimism isn't helpful also, but I also think freaking out about it all and like dreading isn't the answer either. Like I don't think we're going to be put into camps or anything anytime soon. Like I don't think we're even near that type of thing. Shit's just, you know, pretty unfair for trans people right now, and yeah, they are trying to erase us, especially in the more right-leaning states, but we're strong. The trans community is stronger than it's ever been. We
Not
are more
going anywhere.
connected than we've ever been.
Not going anywhere.
Not going anywhere. We're out here. And the fact that we are in this big battle right now is, you know, scary, but also a good sign to me, because like that's when the most change can happen.
Beautifully said.
We out here.
That was beautiful. That was honestly beautiful.
Thanks, dog.
And then,
We got one more.
do you got it? Well, there was a second part of the question,
Oh,
which
right,
is
the workouts.
Oh,
diet
right.
exercise tips for HRT.
I don't have a good diet or exercise routine at all. I am very blessed with my
There you have
genetics,
it.
I think.
You either got it or you don't.
I've tried in the last like year to have a consistent workout routine. It lasts for like a week or two. I don't have good advice.
Yeah, I guess just like do that. It'd probably be good. I don't do
Yeah,
it. But,
I mean, maybe I could. I don't have
in good shape.
Yeah,
You're not
I work
on
out
HRT,
and like
but-
watch what I eat. I think you just got to figure out like if you want to look a certain way, like what you need to do in the gym to achieve that. Stay consistent with it. Make a point. Like, don't be like, oh, I got to go to the gym. Like, you should have like appointments with yourself. Like, I go to the gym at these times. I work on these things, and really like the diet is the most important thing. Like if you go to the gym and don't diet correctly, you're not going to see any results. So count your macros, figure out what you want to do, get a plan going. ChatGPT might have a good answer for that.
I don't know
too.
what any of that means, but Connor was like a runner and shit, and like we used to like run, and he like went to Alaska to like run a bunch, I think.
Yeah,
so like
I ran track in college.
you're in track in college in Alaska,
Yeah.
so he probably knows a little bit about fitness.
So
Like what to do if you see a moose
Yeah,
on a
and
backcountry trail.
there are trans fitness creators who like do like workout routines specifically to like, you know.
You want to shout out any?
yeah, could you shout some of those out?
I don't remember any other names.
They're
out there.
I don't do that. But
Probably just look up like, you know, trans fitness.
I'll do a,
You'll come
a
across them.
smidge of producing here.
Well, we don't want to just
Yeah,
shout people out that we don't know. Like they're.
Well, I think I know the name of one, but I might be wrong, so like I don't want to like say the wrong name.
What do you think it might be? And then maybe Connor can find it. It's also, we don't need to just be shouting out random people.
10 trans fitness influence.
Oh, there's at least 10 of
10
them.
trans fitness professionals to follow on Instagram and TikTok.
There's
We got
10.
you.
Yeah, so
is this
they're
still
out there.
Maxine?
Yeah.
We got
Yeah.
you, Maxine.
Madam
Connor's gonna-
Physique,
Well, they can find the article. Like,
Liz Ridgway,
They're out
Ilya
there.
Parker.
there's at least 10.
They're on.
Yeah.
They're out there.
Those are the trans women fitness influencers at a glance. There's also some trans men fitness influencers on this list. Different goals, obviously. So, yeah, maybe just hit a Google for that. Where's Jeff going?
I think he's swigging his beer. His mic is. Damn, this shit is sweaty. How does mic get so sweaty?
Oh, because he's palming it like a Neanderthal.
Yo, you could set your beer on like what? I could get you a coaster or something.
All right. Maybe we do have to take a pause at one point to get the questions off your phone, so we'll
That's
run
true.
that. Yeah.
Okay, well, I got one more. It's not really a question, but this is from Daniel. Hi, I stumbled across your guitar work and can't get enough. You're effortlessly talented at it and would love to hear a whole album with your guitar and vocals from a talented singer, or hear you in a band since I'm massively into melodic metal Dokken.
Dawkins.
What is metal Dokken?
I don't know.
actually, no, I just-
Dokken. Queen Cirque. I don't know. I think he's just listing off bands that he likes. And I haven't heard of any of them. I love heaviness, and I think he meant to say beauty. And your
Me
guitar
too.
sound would fit beautifully in any band, and metal bands would be so lucky to have you, as you're more talented than many bands I'm hugely into. Kindly regards, Daniel.
That's so nice, Daniel. I'm glad I come across as effortless because I put a lot of effort
She does,
into
dude. She
it.
practices a lot, for sure. And, you know, it's like when they emailed that, you know, so it's like if one person's saying it, like they went through the effort to like send an email. Like there's a lot of
Yeah,
people out there.
that's so
thinking the same
nice.
thing.
It's
Yeah.
I struggle with guitar because I like, especially when I'm trying to record something like into Ableton, I feel like all I can hear is the mistakes, and then people will say like, this sounds perfect, it's so clean, and I'm like, damn, that's crazy, I don't think so. But that's nice. I like metal too. I don't really remember everything this person said, but thank you
just
so
kinda
The
much.
shower, yeah, you were getting.
Thanks for the
glazed.
glazing.
Yeah.
I really
kinda
appreciate
glazing.
the
Yeah.
glazing.
Yeah, we could get a glazing channel going. Like maybe if people just want to like, and then maybe we could get one for me too. Like,
We'll think
Yeah,
about
we'll
it.
see about it.
that'd be pretty cool.
Should we hit a pause so we can get the
Yeah.
other
Yeah.
part? Okay.
Clap.
That was a good one.
That was a good one. You're good at clapping.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've always had a powerful clap.
It's very loud. I don't think I can clap like that.
Yeah, I bet you got a powerful case of the claps, dude.
Yeah, I went to Humboldt State, so
Yeah. Hum.
go
clap.
Jacks.
I don't know what any of this means. All right, now time for everyone's favorite segment. Ask a CISHET man.
Oh,
Yay!
yeah. So, yeah, we're
Get
trying
some
to
theme
bring
music for
people
this
to.
eventually.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, I think we
Maybe
should
something like Nickelback, like Daughtry adjacent. I think would be sick.
Yeah. Just fuzzy stadium
Yeah,
guitars.
if we could even get the licensing to some Daughtry,
I also think it should.
yeah, some
Puddle of Mud,
some Puddle of Mud would be good.
like Three Doors Down.
Yeah, Three Doors Down.
Maybe
I'll
the
make
only.
like a Kryptonite
Allison,
ripoff.
what?
I'll make a Three Doors Down Kryptonite.
Yeah, I
ripoff.
think we could just jack it. I don't
Yeah.
want to go through like fucking like Saving Grace's. What am I? Why can't I list any of my favorite bands right now? I don't think we need to go through any like Linkin Park. Fuck. Can we restart?
No.
We don't. I got, dude. This is like my wheelhouse, dude. Yeah, I don't want to necessarily go through like Alice in Chains' communication channels. We could just rip some chords like really quick.
Yeah, I could probably put something together.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it should be the only segment we have any kind of transition or music for.
Yeah, we
possibly.
can shoot you some dro for some chords, like no problem.
Yeah.
Bro.
Yeah, we've got Dro.
Yeah, I know you do.
Yeah, dude. Honestly, dude, if you need some, like, we got you, 100%.
No, I'm good.
Yeah, you want a sesh after this?
Um,
Post pod sesh?
Yeah, I could
PPS?
maybe. I'll take like a hit.
Like a quick sesh.
Like
yeah.
a quick, like
Once
a chill
everything's
sesh?
packed up, I'll hit
Yeah.
a sesh.
Off
Because
pod
I do want to
sesh.
get food after this. So.
Oh, I think I'm gonna rip with you on that. Where do you want to go?
I don't know.
Well,
Tacos.
anyways, you guys can talk about this after.
Hey, dude, this is our segment. Quiet. Two white kings are talking.
Oh, that's perfect, actually, because our first user-submitted question for Ask a CISHET Man is, what's it like being listened to?
Dude, it rocks.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
It's like just being able to like walk in a room and like you can count on just like 99% chance of anyone you're going to talk to is just going to immediately have like some type of respect for you off the rip makes life awesome.
That's real? That's crazy.
You
Yeah,
back me up on this, Connor?
I feel like I have a bad habit of like interrupting people too, just because I know that once I start saying something and I
Like
mean
they're
it,
just shut up and
Yeah.
listen. Yeah, dude. I've done it several times in this podcast. So.
I've
Yeah, no, I'm
probably
pretty
done it a few times too. I did it just then. Sorry, Kat.
Yeah, no, I'm pretty sure, actually, since I transitioned, you've started interrupting me, like, twice as much.
I believe it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like I think it's like so subconscious that it's like impossible to even like fully like sometimes I realize I'm doing it, but like I will go through like 45 minutes of like talking to, especially if it's like a woman where they're like, dude, like can I get a goddamn word in?
Yeah, no, people used to point. I didn't even really notice too heavily until people pointed out. Like when we used to stream together, people were like pointing out how much you were interrupting me.
It's like
You know, yesterday when I was hanging out with Jeff on Friday, we were talking about the pod, and I was like, "You need to let Kat talk."
and I was like, I know that's gonna be a problem.
This is her podcast.
I did consciously go into it being like, you have to fucking give Kat space and not just like rip over whatever she's saying. And I've still done it like more than like 3, 4, 5 times.
Yeah, and I think I'm so used to it that like when I was answering those questions earlier and I was like going on for a bit, I felt like weird. I was like waiting for like y'all to chime in at some
Dude, I
point.
felt that, dude. I was like practicing discipline for sure. For sure. I was like, let the queen speak, dude. I must. And it was, I'm not going to lie to you, it was hard. It was not easy.
That's amazing.
Yeah, so yeah, in short, to answer the question, it rocks. And it makes life so much easier.
I don't really remember being a man, to be honest. I transitioned. I was like 19 or something. Like,
Yeah, dude, it's like...
I was also
but even-
alone for like 5 years until
Yeah,
I
and
didn't
it's
go
like
out.
when we
or
would
do
like go
things.
out and hang out together, it's like you were like...
I was
you
a quiet,
were shy.
I was a quiet boy.
I wouldn't even say you were shy, but like it's hard to say you were shy because like the outfits you would wear when we would go out, like before you transitioned, were like wild. Like Kat would like pull up to the function wearing like a leopard print like suit, like the inflatable shoes. What were those? The Insta Bumps.
My Insta bumps. Should I grab them?
You got them? Yeah,
I got 'em. I got 'em
dude,
on me here.
Yeah, dude. Sis Cat was rock. Like I remember, like we were in high school. We went to high school together, a couple years younger than me, and like we didn't really hang out much. Like when we hung out like outside of school, but like we didn't really hang out together while we were like at school. And I would just like see her like walking through the hallway, just like, rocking like the Insta bumps. Like
They pump up.
yeah, they pump up. She was pumping them up. Like
Great part inflates.
yeah, it's like that's to make them like tighter, right?
This is carbon
It was like-
fiber. It's like how you tie the laces.
Yeah.
It's not laces, bro. It's the future.
You still ever you? It's the
my
future.
ultra rare bodega.
No one's hearing it.
Reebok.
Are
Can
they-
you hold the mic up to the cat?
right, yeah, did anyone
Can you
hear?
let this woman speak?
These are my ultra rare bodega Reebok collab Instapump Furies.
Yeah.
Um,
What do you think you could get for these like right now?
You know what's crazy? There was probably like I think there was literally like 300 of these made, and they're worthless.
Nobody
wants this shit. So yeah, I love them. They're my favorite shoes.
You still ever rock them?
Hell yeah, rarely because I don't want to fuck them up.
Yeah, dude. One day, dude. After this podcast drops, skyrocket in value. Insider trading.
Probably, dude. Your hands are sweaty. That's
We get a
crazy.
Reebok sponsorship.
Yeah, Reebok
Yeah.
sponsor us, please. I love your shoes. I love your Instapumps, dude. They're revolutionary. I'm surprised more people don't wear them.
Does it work? Like just pumping them up, like actually keep them tight for like.
Yeah, they deflate after a little bit. At least these ones do. It might be
Like,
because
how
they're old.
long does it?
Not too long. And the thing is, they fit fine like without inflating them, and they look kind of cool even still without inflating them. So you don't have to. Like I did a whole day at Disneyland with those, and I was comfy.
You were comfy the whole time at Disneyland.
Yeah.
That's a lot of walking.
Yeah, Ozzy did notice I kept pumping them up, but that was more just like for my out because I wanted them fully pumped at all times. But that's really not necessary. It was just like my own
It's
thing.
also like kind of fun to pump them. It's not like you're going down to retie your shoe. Like you're going to pump. Something.
Yeah, I was like on the Disney trams, pumping my shoes, and
Yeah.
and people, looking over like, whoa.
Was it a conversation starter?
No, but I just imagine people were looking over like, whoa,
That's the future.
that's the future right there.
They probably bought those shoes at Disneyland for like $1,000.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Good question that we answered.
Question number 2.
Yeah. What's
Of-
up? What'd you say?
I just think we nailed that one.
Yeah, I think we crushed
Yeah.
it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like a different dad rock song for every question. I'm about to put to the shindig.
Yeah, the Red Hot Chili Peppers would actually be perfect. Like the ignorant Anthony Kiedis songs, like "Suck My Kiss."
Yeah. She's only 18. Don't like the Rolling Stones. All right, question 2.
Oh God. Question 2 of Ask a CISHET Man. Have you gone to therapy, and did it help?
I went to therapy for a minute. Probably not enough, but like it did help for sure. What about you?
What'd you go to therapy for?
Well, the only time I actually went to like therapy, I was like a teenager, and like my therapist was just like, "Do you want like help like with your homework and it's like stuff hard at home?" And then we like talked about it for a while, and it helped me a lot.
That's
It was
nice.
just like someone to like go to that was like nice that I could talk to. Yeah, it was cool.
I've been to therapy multiple times in my life. I'm currently in therapy. I go every other week.
Oh, that's nice.
I started going last January because I got broken up with, and it
more
was
therapy.
entirely my fault, and I felt really terrible. And I just had a lot of like grief to deal with, and a lot of like reconciling with my actions to do.
Dude, chill,
and
bro. She might cheat this.
I don't care.
Just playing. Go ahead.
But
It's more therapy than I've ever done.
yeah, I'm still in it, and I feel like pretty resolved on the original issue that I went with. But other things come up, and
Damn, did you like find out that there's like more issues? Like,
dude, just life just doesn't let up. Things
That's
things
facts.
get crazy, and it's nice to have somebody to talk to about that stuff who can offer good advice and be a little more neutral but supportive at the same time.
yeah.
Would also like to plug, if you're on Medi-Cal, you can get free therapy through Planned Parenthood.
That's good
right.
to know.
Yeah,
That's how I do it.
Yeah, California Medi-Cal free therapy.
I don't pay a dime.
Planned Parenthood's how I got my HRT in Florida.
Yeah.
Yeah, Planned Parenthood has helped me out in a few situations as well.
They do way more than abortions.
Yeah,
so,
dude, I was like, and people don't know that. And
Yeah.
I was going to do my HRT appointment at Planned Parenthood, and there were a bunch of Christians outside being like, "Don't kill your baby," and I was like,
not why I'm here.
"Y'all, like,
Yo, I'm doing something you probably would hate even more.
Yeah, I went there for like an STI screening, and they just have like a mental health check sheet, and they were like, "Yo, you good?" Like you're like, oh, first off, you're clean, but second of all,
Like, are you
want
good?
to talk to somebody? Looking pretty rough over here, Chief.
Yeah, you checked off like a lot of crazy boxes.
Yeah.
shout outs to Planned Parenthood,
Yeah.
Shout out Planned Parenthood.
Free Country
Shout
USA
To my therapist, Sharik.
supports Planned Parenthood."
Yeah, it's like, nah, dude, we like the big government, bro. Like,
Yeah, I recommend therapy to literally anybody at any time, even if you don't have like a crazy thing to deal with.
Well, there you
Even
have
little
it.
stuff.
Cishet men do go to therapy
sometimes.
sometimes.
And the thing what I was trying to say with big government is like, I just think it's like an ironic or like an annoying thing where people are like, oh, we want like the chuds are like, oh, we need like smaller government. It's like, okay, well, if you had a small government, why are you gonna stop things from? Well, Planned Parenthood is really run by the government, so I guess this argument makes no sense. But big governments are good when they do things that are good, like Planned Parenthood, because you're giving therapy to me and Connor who need it, and you might also need it, and you could probably get it.
I probably should be in therapy.
Yeah, I should probably go back to therapy.
Yeah, no, I should definitely be in therapy.
You guys should both go back.
Yeah.
Or
Sometime.
you could just like drink some fucking beers and relax.
Yeah, I guess you could just like chill out.
Yeah, you could just chill the fuck out. But I guess if it's free,
It's free.
yeah.
It's like I think my main thing with this is I hate planning things. Like I hate having like scheduled things. I hate scheduling things, bro. It's my least favorite thing to do.
Yeah, I'm with you on that.
Yeah, what do you think the root of that is, huh?
Oh, dude, that's a good question.
Probably school. I hated school so
I
much,
hated
and that
school
it
so-
was always
we were
on a
both,
schedule.
Like bad fucking students.
I wouldn't even say that. I think we would have been good students
I
if
was a
school
bad
was
student.
geared. Oh, I would have been a great student if they, like if school was like actually like chill or interesting.
Yeah. All right, let's go. Let's yeah, this is drying up. Let's move to the next one.
Do you like being a man? And are there any things that you feel give you gender euphoria as a cishet man?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah,
It's my favorite
being
question
a man
on the list.
That's
rocks.
a great. I love that. Like framing gender euphoria, just like being, like as the thing that you were born as. Like that's hilarious.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've
a
never
firm
had any-
handshake.
Yeah, firm
Man,
handshake.
like sealing a business deal.
Yeah.
Just like the head nod, like a soulful head nod to another like.
Oh yeah, I forgot about the head nods, dude. I
Dude, the
used to
pursed lip. head
Dapping
nod.
somebody up really good.
Yeah.
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 Connor gave me my first. That was my first time.
That was her first dap.
Yeah,
That was my
dapped up
first time
Kat
the other
last
day,
week.
Connor.
You did good.
Thank you.
Yeah. I knew
I
you
was
were
scared.
you were hesitant, but I knew you could do it.
Thank you for believing in me.
Yeah.
And then like what else? Yeah, just like no nonsense business deals.
Lately, something that's been giving me some gender euphoria is driving in my truck, listening to an Alan Jackson song about driving in your truck. Called Country Boy. And I'm not a country boy, I'm from the burbs. I've spent some time in the country. I lived in Humboldt for a long time.
You worked on a
but
farm for some time.
I worked on a farm for a long time. I still work with my hands, but yeah, there's nothing like
You've got the country
driving
spirit.
your truck and listening to a song about driving your truck. Because I'm a country boy, I got a 4-wheel.
Yeah, like just honestly, just wearing like jeans and a pullover and like just it rocks, dude. I love it.
I
And
was
it's
at the
if you
gym
don't-
today, and I thought that my workout was going to be hard, and then it wasn't. And I felt really strong. That was tight.
Nice, dude.
I don't know if that's
awesome.
male specific though.
Yeah, that's
So, business, trucks,
nice. Handshake.
feeling strong,
Yeah,
handshake.
Various different types of handshakes.
I'm bald and have a big beard.
Yeah.
And there's definitely days where I'm like, fuck yeah. Such a fucking man, dude.
Yeah, dude. So I can see it's like if like, dude, imagine it's like we liked all this stuff as much as we did, but we were just like a woman with like just looked like a pretty lady.
Yeah, that would suck.
Yeah, I would definitely consider. Like, I can see why you would go through the lengths and the trials and tribulations of transitioning, because I love all that stuff.
I feel like, and this is an assumption, call me out in the comments, I feel like transitioning to be a man, like, you probably, like, get there and you're like, oh, fuck. These guys are assholes. This sucks.
Well, do you think you experience more of men being assholes if you're a woman? Probably, huh?
Well, yeah.
But I imagine like
Absolutely.
trying to become one of the guys for the first time
I see
is
what you
like,
mean. It's like, oh yeah, I have to kind of be an asshole.
Yeah, no, a lot of trans masks are kind of shocked by like the horrible shit cis men will say to them because they just like figure
dude.
they're one of them.
That is like
yeah, like the
gnarly
initiation.
something.
I feel like is probably a rude awakening.
Yeah, and like I remember being a man and like when cis men would say absolutely horrible shit to me. Like we had a mutual friend of someone you dated who, when they were dating them, they basically just viewed them as a piece of meat. They told me, and I was just like, "That's crazy. You're just like saying that with your whole chest."
Yeah,
Yeah.
dude. It's like, dude, yeah, like that. You get that a lot.
A lot of
and it'll be
dudes-
like a perfect stranger. Just being like, yeah, I view my wife as a piece of meat. It's like, I don't even know your first name.
Horrifying.
Yeah, someone will reveal that type of information before I even learn their name on a regular
Yeah,
basis.
no,
That's
totally.
crazy.
Yeah, there's a lot of dudes out there with some pretty crazy, true, like the way that they think is like so honest and true, but it's just like, damn, dude, what the fuck?
yeah. Shocking.
Women
yeah.
are tight.
Yeah,
you know.
yeah. It's like definitely the most shocking things. Yeah, are from like other men just trying to identify you with a man as a man is like led to some of the most shocking things I've ever heard in my entire life.
Yeah, a friend of mine from Humboldt.
And that's gnarly. That's not gender euphoria affirmation. That's like, Jesus Christ, we have a lot of work to do.
Oh, totally. But yeah, I'm sure it kind of sucks to be like, all right, I'm one of the fellas, and then the fellas are like,
Yeah, the fellows are
Just
all
the
just
worst.
Hitlerian psychopaths.
Now we can talk shit about women together.
Yeah. Finally.
I can tell you how much I hate my bitch wife, who's mothered all of my children and does everything for me.
Yeah, word. So there's ups and downs, but mostly it's awesome.
Yeah.
Real. All right. Question 4. Does washing your ass make you feel gay?
No, not at all.
Nah, I rock a bidet.
Yeah.
I think it's gay to not wash your ass.
It's like it's overly performative into the fact like you're doing like this own warped idea of like being so trapped into your gender that you can't even touch your ass, that you're like you're committing to it so much that you can't even clean yourself. Like that's a fetish.
Yeah,
Damn, throwing it back on him. Being trans isn't a fetish. Being so cis that you can't even wash your own ass. That's the fetish right there.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah, if you're so like fragile in your heteronormativity or whatever that you can't have like a clean body, you're gay.
Yeah, that's way crazier than dressing up in drag and doing a dance like for tips at a brunch. Like you're like taking it to the point where you're like making yourself disgusting. Also, but it's like, how much is this really happening? Is this happening a lot?
Dude, I know some guys where I was like, yeah, I have a bidet, it fucking rocks, and they're like, nah, dude, that's fucking gay.
Yeah,
that's wild.
Having a clean ass is gay.
Something like the best
That's
way.
dumb.
Yeah, the best way I've ever heard it put is like with like washing your ass with water. Is like, imagine if like you were walking, like a bird like pooped on your head, like you got like bird shit in your hair.
You just use a cloth.
And you just like wipe
Like a
it
dry
off with a cloth and like call it a day, or you're
Yeah.
gonna use like soap and water. It's the same thing.
Yeah, I think like
Yeah, and at the very least, it saves you money on toilet paper.
yeah, and then there's other guys that I know that like. They're like, no, I don't like the bidet because then my ass is wet. And it's like, well, yeah, dry it off.
Dry it off. It's like you use a
you're
combination,
not
I think,
done.
of drying and wet.
Yeah, and there,
Which is
if
how
you got,
which for those at home following along, that's how you clean stuff.
damn, coming from a cishet man.
Yeah, water and like a towel, like a washcloth, or
Yeah.
like some sturdy toilet paper, and you're
That's
you're
real.
gonna feel a lot better.
And if you really spring for the fancy bidet, they've got bidets with dryers. When I was in Hawaii, that hotel, that it had a seat warmer, the water was warm, and it had a dryer and multiple settings.
Like here in the U.S., bidets are like the most bidets that people have are like the ones you install into your toilets.
Yeah.
And then still you do like want to dry it afterwards, and then usually it's like only toilet paper is handy.
Yeah.
To dry it, and it's like that is because most people don't have the dryers, but it's like that's a lot better than.
Then you're not walking around with shit on your butt all day.
You feel that
chimpanzee.
What are you
what is the difference between us and monkeys if not to walk around with shit not on our ass all day?
Yeah, dude.
Dude. I recently, so I was living with some people and we had a bidet, and then I moved back here, installed the bidet right away because they rock, and man, the water pressure is so good. I almost took my asshole clean off the first go. Gotta be careful.
Yeah, I've been there, sister.
Yeah. Yeah, not gay to clean your ass.
Yeah, not gay to clean your ass. If you are so concerned about being gay that you can't even clean your own ass, you might maybe want to go to a therapist, and then they'll tell you eventually over the course of several sessions you are gay and possibly trans.
Real. All right. Why? Last question. Why do you think people are transphobic?
They're trans.
Why do you think people are transphobic?
I think they a lot of the times they're are trans.
Oh, and they're projecting?
I mean, I think that's like kind of an oversimplification, but it keeps proving itself to be true over and over again with like how many of the most stringent anti-gay, anti-trans activists. It's like someone finds out that they've been in a Discord server for 17 years, doing trans roleplay every day for 5 hours.
Do you think it's just the rage comes from sheer jealousy of seeing people live the life they feel like they can't live?
I think it's not exclusively that. I think it's also just tied into the idea of this warped idea of to be a man you have to reject it, or it's not part of your religious doctrine in such a way. But I think even if it is when it is, you use religion as a tool to deal with it in a negative way, because it's I know plenty of Christian people who are what he used without sin cast the first stone type of shit. But when you're that anti against it, it's just this absolute upholding of it has to be a man and a woman, and men and women are supposed to act a certain way. It's I'm hip to the idea that that's gender affirmation and drag in itself. These guys that dress up like fake cowboys all the time, Connor knows all about that. It's you're putting on a gender performance so often. Even I do it too. We're talking about things that make us feel awesome as guys. It's
Are you calling Connor a fake cowboy?
No, I just know that he's around it because he plays country music in Hollywood. So
I'm sort of a fake
you think
cowboy.
that's just as gender performative as doing drag?
I mean,
I would say it's the same, yeah.
Yeah, it's basically the exact same thing. It's you're putting on a show to show off some type of traditional gender role in a way that's fun and entertaining and amusing.
Because, drag is just a parody of traditional gender roles.
Yeah.
Right? So
I mean, I don't know, actually, but that sounds right.
So
I don't know. None of us really fuck with drag like that.
Honestly, I don't I mean, drag.
Respect.
But I'm not that into drag.
Lost the whole fan base.
Yeah,
they're gone.
Just if you're inviting me to the drag brunch, 95% chance I'm not going.
Oh, dude, drag brunch rocks. I went with my grandma once in Portland.
Yeah,
it's tight.
Maybe I could give it a shot.
Because that's why okay, so there's a lot of criticism for women who do drag, because originally it was just men who did drag.
The drag kings.
What are they doing?
Wait, do you mean drag kings?
No, I mean women who do drag and they parody female stereotypes. There's a lot of people who are that's not drag, that's whatever, but
it's
ultimately the goal of the OG drag queens was to just make a parody of gender norms and the binary. So you can do it either way. Someone like Chapel Roan, she's a woman And when
When
she does drag,
she dresses like a drag queen.
exactly. But it's still the same because all you're really doing is a parody of gender norms. So if you're like, if you're putting on the Wranglers and like the pearl snap and boots and like, like that is like, it's a very heightened sense of masculinity.
Yeah, especially if like you have no connection to that culture whatsoever, which is like 99%.
You're like doing drag on accident.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's just does this pertain to the original question? What was the original question?
Why
are
do you
people
think?
transphobic?
Yeah, why do you think people are transphobic?
Yeah, dude, I think, damn, I don't know, but it's just like if you have that much hate in your heart for someone who's just like literally just like trying to be a human being and they're just doing it the way they want to, it's like there's been trans people forever in all different types of cultures doing it all different types of ways, and it's like you're so fixated on it. Why? I don't know, because you just have hate in your heart and you're confused and you like have like a sickness that like needs to be addressed, and it's like just
That's crazy. These are the realest answers I've heard come out of cishet men's mouths ever.
I think people fear what they don't understand, and I think in a lot of the cases where I've been talking to my coworkers, like trying to meet them where they're at so they can like be a little less transphobic, most of the cases they've never known a trans person, and so their only exposure to trans people is like conservative media's representation of trans people, so they think that they're like this,
they're brainwashed,
very over the top people, and like
Cat.
Yeah, sure.
They think they're all like Cat.
Yeah, that they're all just like trans
I'm Cat, by the
furries.
way. Not a lot of people know me as Cat.
Oh, word. Yeah, Kitty. Yeah, Kimz.
So yeah, like I had a good conversation with one of my coworkers when I first started working there because, at the time I was dating a non-binary person and I would, use their pronouns, and he was like, "Dude, what the fuck?" I was like, "Well, let's talk about it. Like, are you willing to have like an actual conversation about this?" And he was. So I was like,
"You want to have an open exchange?"
I was like, "Are we gonna do the free market of ideas?" And he agreed. So I was like, "Hell yeah! Like this is what it's all about." Like we. So anyways, the hypothetical situation I posed for him, because he was like, I would never call like a trans woman like she, her, or call her by the name that she changed to. And I was like, okay, get this. Your best friend of many years, hypothetically, comes to you and says, "Hey, I feel like I'm a woman, and like I would prefer you to call me by this name. Like it would mean a lot to me if you did that, because like that's how I feel." And I said, like if that happened to you, would you respect them? And he was like, "Yeah, of course." That's like,
dude, that's
like my best friend. And it's like, well, okay, there's just like a bunch of people who feel that way that you don't know. And it like, it is like no expense to you to just be like, they're living their life the way they want to. It doesn't affect you at all.
It's such a like simple respect thing too, because it's like cis people are so ready to be like, "Hey, my name's
Ace."
Yeah, I'm shortening my name a little bit. Like I want to go by this now, and everyone's like, "That's cool." But then like the second you're like, "Oh, but it's a feminine name," they're like, "No, fuck you."
But it's like also classic conservative brain to be like, "Oh, like this thing you completely don't agree with at all." It's like, what if it was like someone you knew and they're like, "Holy shit."
Yeah. Oh my god.
Yeah, no,
God.
I totally like. I do think a lot of it is because a lot of transphobic people have never met a trans person. And that's my goal with this podcast, you see. I'm trying to bridge the gap between trans people and cis men. So that's what's up.
Yeah.
I think we could cut it here, to be honest. I'm a little tired.
Yeah, fuck it.
I
think we got it.
Thank you, Patriots.
We ended transphobia tonight.
We just ended transphobia in one podcast.
You're
Thank
welcome.
you, Patriots, for watching.
Nice.
Have a great
time.
time.
I love that you cut it there. That was actually fucking perfect.